So that's why we're here today, to look at a August 21st through the 31st Danube Explorer River Cruise Tour. And that is going to include the Czech Republic, Germany, Austria, Slovakia, and Hungary. So an amazing trip, an amazing river cruise. And we're really going to dive into the itinerary today. We're going to talk about Mayflower Cruises and Tours, the river cruise in general, river cruising. And so this will be informational for you. And with that in mind, I'm going to turn it over to Amanda with Mayflower Cruises and Tours so she can really take us in and show us some amazing pictures and details about the tour.
All right, thank you. So nice to see you all, hear from you all, even though we're doing it, on Zoom. I love being able to talk about the future and what's coming with travel. So my name's Amanda Coleman, and I've been partnering with Tracy for many years now, with Mayflower Cruises and Tours since August. So very excited to dive into this trip and show you pictures. You can look at the different rooms that we have available and just the sights that you're going to see this whole way through. So what we'll do, I will share my screen so that you can see the entire presentation. You may notice that you'll be muted, but there is a chat box on the bottom. Does everyone see like the Zoom chat box where if you have a question, you can type into me? Okay, or you can save them for the end, whatever's easy for you. So I will pull up to share my screen with you. And that way you get a chance to see a little bit of everything here. Okay. Can everyone see a Mayflower slide?
Not yet.
Nope.
Oops. Not yet. Okay, let me know.
It looks like it's getting ready to.
Okay. Stormy weather's messing with internet, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me know when that pops up for you.
Okay. Right now it says it has started screen sharing, but it hasn't pulled up yet.
Okay. Oh, you guys there?
We're here.
Okay, can you see anything?
Not yet.
Hmm.
There we go.
Let me try.
There we go.
Okay.
We're good now.
So you have one big slide?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. All right, perfect. So maybe we're having some spotty connections here. Sorry about that. Okay. So first thing here, if you've ever been on a Mayflower trip or you're not familiar with us, I want to tell you about what comes with the trip and who we are as a company so that you can feel comfortable and confident traveling with us in the future. So we have been in business for many years. We're based right outside of Chicago, family-run company until 2018 when we were purchased by the River Cruise Company that I'm going to talk about today. It's a river cruise company out of Australia. We own all of our ships. They are absolutely gorgeous, as you'll see. And that way you have English speaking guides, you'll have English announcements on board. River cruises are smaller than your typical big ship, which is nice, and they're all recently updated too. So you'll also get, that deluxe transportation. So that way we can take you from, the airport to your hotel and then hotel to the ship. We move your bags for you. You have your trained tour managers who specialize in the destination. You'll have the occasional step-on guide or historian that'll go deep into an area, maybe when we're doing a walking tour. Some great dining experiences. I mean, there's going to be so much food for you guys. I don't know how you'll come back without a few extra pounds. And then also the hotels. So you have one hotel on this one before we hop on the ship, and it's in a great location. So just like Tracy said, we're going to go over the Danube Explorer for next year in August. And if you want, you can take a peek at my map here. So we are flying into Prague, and you get 2 nights in Prague before we go down to get on the ship. And then you're on the ship for the rest of the trip. So you are not having to pack and unpack and move your bags and hop around a lot. We want to make it smooth and comfortable for you. And then you'll fly home from Budapest. So this is a great itinerary. And with 11 days, including your flight days, I mean, the majority of your meals are included, which is nice too. Now, as we start here, you'll see, just like I said, we fly into Prague. So remember, we're going to fly right from Evansville. We'll have the schedule and everything done for you. So you'll be in touch with Tracy over that. So you'll have that overnight flight. And the great thing too, with Prague, you're going to have a time change, but it's not too bad. So when you're based on Central Time, we'll have 6 hours. So make sure when you get in the morning, you relax, you'll have some time to walk around and just stay awake for me. I don't want anyone to miss their welcome dinner. So hopefully you'll just splash some water on your face and keep going. Now, the sights you'll see in Prague, because we are doing some sightseeing here, you'll get to see the old town square, the beautiful history of these buildings I love. And one of the things that's really unique about Prague is the astronomical clock that's right there in the square. So this was built many years ago, back in 1410, and it's a fully functioning clock. You'll see on the left there, there's those statues. Those are huge, so keep that in mind. I mean, they are life-size up there, and just, I love to look at the detail on their face and things like that. They took so much care into putting this together. So we will make sure during our walking tour that you get nice and close to see this clock. You'll also see the Prague Castle. So keep in mind, when we're doing our walking tour, everyone will be given a whisper headset. Got somebody hopping in. Okay, so everyone will be given a whisper headset, and that goes right around your neck with an earbud for your ear. And then that way you can be 15, 20 feet away from your tour manager and you can hear them perfectly. So the history and the details you still get. You don't have to worry about being right next to them side by side in order to know what's going on. Now, as you flow through this trip too, you'll notice a lot of the architecture. So the strong styles that you'll see is that Gothic architecture. So keep that in mind too. Now, we do have an optional excursion on this trip if you want to do it. So this is to go to the Terezin concentration camp. A lot of people are not familiar with this concentration camp. And the way that it operated during the Holocaust was that everyone would come here before they were sorted to go to which other camp. So typically, if you came here, you were then sent off to Auschwitz. So this is it's a deep experience, you know, walking through and being able to see where thousands of people came. But it is something, if you've never been to a concentration camp before, I do think it's a very powerful experience if you would like to do it. If not, you know, you certainly don't have to. Again, it's optional, so it takes place during free time. But this is certainly something, if you want to do, just let Tracy know. Now, we'll also see the Charles Bridge. So the famous Charles Bridge is, you'll see those statues lined up on both sides. So they're all different. So it's nice to be able to take a stroll on the Charles Bridge and be able to look at each one and take your time. They have little plaques underneath them, so you can read about each one and who they are or what they stand for. Now, we're going to get into some details on the ship. So after your time in Prague, we come down so that we can hop right on the ship, and this is your ship. So it is a beautiful boat here, and you'll see as you're cruising along the breakdown and everything here too. So I want you to know the different cabin layouts that we have. So this is this Emerald stateroom. D and E are going to look like this. So these are on the lower level. Also, that's your window right there that you can see. It does not open. Okay, so category D and E do not open. Now, the rooms are very, very good size. So they're roomy, they're comfortable. So you have that picture window on the side. You know, but keep in mind, you know, maybe you won't be in your room that long. So you don't mind if your window doesn't open. You know, it's completely up to you. So this is the first rooming option. And this is the layout of the ship. So if you're looking with me, the Riviera deck are the ones we just looked at. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Now next we'll go over the Vista deck, and Vista deck is also on the same level as to where the dining area is towards the right. Okay, so this is a room that's on the Vista deck. So this is your panorama balcony room. This is categories A, B, and C. Now you'll see over here, you have a different kind of flooring. So that way you can sit over there by what we call a balcony area. Now that window is halfway, so it comes down, but you cannot walk out. Okay, so that window does come down, gives you a nice panorama view there with all that glass that you have as you go along. These are very popular rooms that people will typically book. So just remember that there's no separate door whenever it comes to getting to that floor to ceiling window. So this is the layout of that room. And all the rooms have a TV and your own bathroom, the mini bar, and things like that too. So it's nice to be able to just sit and relax in your room and watch the scenery go by if you'd like. Now, this room is the grand balcony. So these are very popular. So if you're interested in one of these, I would definitely book early. So you'll notice towards the balcony area, there are separate glass doors. So that does open so you can sit out there, have a glass of wine or a cup of coffee, and be able to have that separate space, okay, from your main living area. So you have that sliding glass door over there. So keep that in mind. So this would be on the horizon deck. A little bit bigger of a room, and then that separate area. So to me, this is what I would call a true balcony. And then we have the SA, so the 1-bedroom suites. It also has that true balcony. So you'd step out to a separate area. And then it's a larger room. You have basically a separate, separate little lounge area. So a little living room. So definitely this is on the horizon deck also. So just keep that in mind. That separate door is the horizon deck, and then the others either have the sliding window that comes all the way down, or you have on the Vista deck. Yeah, the Vista deck has that sliding window for you. So I have stayed in a Vista deck before, and I've stayed in one that has the true balcony. And I think they're both very, very comfortable. So whatever you want for your experience. So your ship also has some really fun things. It also has its own pool. So the weather during this time, we're going to be in those mid to upper 70s. So I think it's comfortable for touring, going back, at the end of the day from sightseeing and getting into your bathing suit and being able to just go along the Danube and hop in the pool, have a drink if you want, just relax. It's the perfect way to enjoy your trip. You also have lounge areas too. So there's different spots and there's bars, a little coffee bar too, where you can sit and just take in the sights. So you don't have to worry about, am I going to feel like I have enough space or enough to do on the ship? This is the top deck. So this is the sun deck. So lots of seating up here. There's also a walking path. So you can actually, if you want, get up in the morning or in the evening and do some laps around here, you can. We also have complimentary bicycles, so you'll be able to take those if you want during your free time. There's plenty to keep you busy. During your meals, you have wine and beer included for lunch and dinner, but also lots of different things that you can do on the ship. If you want to get your hair done, if you want to get a massage, whatever you'd like, but it is absolutely breathtaking to be on here. So those dining experiences, the nice thing is that you'll have multiple courses. The food is made fresh, so you will have lots of good breads and dishes and all sorts of things too. So having that local beer and wine included makes it nice and smooth for you too. You don't have to worry about carrying your own money or credit card or anything like that. So the nice thing too is that in our pricing, we have the ship gratuities included also. So you're not going to have to worry about putting your card down or having to worry about that additional cost once you're there. And keep in mind, you do have complimentary Wi-Fi while on board. So this is a close-up of those listening devices I told you about. So you'll see they go right around your neck while we're touring, and you've got that earbud there. So you can go in different sites and museums and see everything, hear them all too, and not have to worry about it. So Passois is where we actually get on the ship. So now that we've gone over the ship details, you'll see what you're going to cruise along and see for the next week. Because the nice thing is that we're not having to hop around. We're staying on that ship for the next 7 nights. So Passois is a really unique spot because it's in Germany, but it borders Austria and Croatia. So it has a lot of different influence when it comes to the architecture and the region too. So before getting on the ship, we will do some touring where you can see St. Stephen's Cathedral. So inside St. Stephen's is this gorgeous organ. So you will notice that is breathtaking with the detail, the gold, the ceiling above it. This is going to be a wonderful way to start the trip. So I love getting to go through here. I've been here twice and it was amazing. So we'll also make sure we're going through the main square in town. And you'll get this as a nice guided walking tour. So make sure you are wearing comfortable shoes for me so that way you can get around comfortably. We want to make sure that you're not having to stop all the time. You want to enjoy your trip. So you can go at your own pace, which is great. But the worst thing is having those pain from brand new shoes. Now, you'll notice as we go through here, there's a couple things and they'll say Emerald Active. So Emerald Active is included. It's if you want to do it. So you don't have to sightsee this way. It's just a way if you're used to walking a lot or hiking or being more active, you can do that on vacation. So what we have here is you would have a guide that would take you on a hike near Passois. So this is our Emerald Active opportunity. So just keep in mind, it's not something you have to do, and it doesn't cost anything additional. Now, next we'll flow through here and we will get to the Czech Republic. So this is an interesting town. It's quite old. Many buildings are from the 13th century. So one of the details in here is going to be this church inside with beautiful gold and different statues in there also. So make sure that you have your cameras charged and you are just looking around at everything as we go through. There's also a local castle. Now, keep in mind, if you don't want to get off the ship, you don't have to. You want to stay back and relax. Maybe you like that people are leaving the ship and you want to have some things to do to yourself, you know, you can do that. So don't feel as though you have to get off the ship every single time if you don't want to. This is also St. Vitus's Church, which this is one of my favorite pictures. I think it just shows the landscape and the area beautifully. You know, you have those wonderful trees and everything in the background and these quaint towns as you're flowing through and each day going back on your ship and seeing these too. We'll also see the Benedictine Abbey here. So this was actually given to the monks many years ago, back in, I want to say the 14th century or so, for them to live in. So we'll actually be able to go and have a tour. See that inside of their library there. So that way you can learn about their life and what it's like to be in this abbey too. So this abbey does not do it, but many abbeys, one of the things they do in Europe is a lot of them brew their own beer, which is something people usually don't expect. I don't believe this one does though. This is one of my favorite pictures to give you an idea of the paintings, and that's all gold leaf that's done and pressed too. So lots of detail here that we're gonna see. Now your Emerald Active opportunity here is a biking tour. So if you want, we have those bikes and someone can take you through the area on your bike. So if you bike every day and want to be active while on vacation, we have that for you too. Or if you want, you can see the gentleman back here sitting nice and comfortably, maybe with a book. That would be me. You can also stay back and do that too. So completely up to you. Now, next we'll flow through, if you remember that map, and we're going to be in Austria. So we'll get to Dürnstein. So notice that castle all the way up right here. But this is a wonderful area. You're covering so many different countries and ground. And then the nice thing too is that, you know, you go back to the ship and you're getting a taste of the local cuisine too. So this is that castle that I pointed out to you. So very far up there, if you'd like to walk through the grounds and the ruins, you certainly can. The sheer size of these are just amazing to me. They were built, of course, to be high up. That way they'd be away from intruders and be able to see if people were coming towards them too. If you want, you can hike to that castle. So completely up to you. If you'd like to do a hiking for your Emerald Active, you can. So you'll notice you do get great views up here as you see the Danube just right there behind it. Now we'll also get to Vienna. So Vienna is one of my favorite cities I've ever been to. And we have quite a few things that you can do while here. So as we're flowing through and getting to spend the day, we will make sure you see the famous theater that they have. And the City Hall building too. Many people can't believe that this is actually their City Hall building. You know, I have no idea what the City Hall building in Indianapolis looks like, but it is not as nice as this. So you'll notice the architecture has started to change quite a bit. If you remember in the beginning with that Gothic style that we had. So we're kind of sticking to it, but it's loosening up a little bit too. Now the famous St. Stephen's Cathedral here, you'll notice on the roof, so these brightly bright colors here, and also over here that detail. So those are all individual tiles. And it takes a lot of work for them to maintain this roof and maintain the gorgeous colors that it has too. So they're made with clay tiles, I believe. So keep that in mind as we're going to walk around and get a chance to see it. Now, if you want, you can be active again and you can do a bike tour through Vienna. So this one would just take you through the main parts of the city if you'd like to sightsee that way. Now, discover more. This is a very popular one. So this is the Taste of Vienna tour. So this is where you'll get bites of tons of different foods. So a lot of things that they're known for, such as these apple strudels here. So to do a Discover More, there would be an additional cost, and it takes place during free time. So it is completely up to you. But we can get that information for you on pricing if you'd like to sign up to do it. Another one that's extremely popular while you're here is seeing a traditional Viennese concert. So we don't have any meals or activities included that would require you to dress up. However, if you do plan on going to the concert, this is one where you would want to dress up. So gentlemen, you know, we would recommend having a jacket. And ladies, you'd be fine in, you know, black slacks or a dress, you know, something like that. This is a highlight to the trip for many if you want to add this on to see a traditional concert in the theater. After your time in Vienna, we'll go through to Bratislava, so get to Slovakia. So you are checking quite a few countries off of your list as we are flowing through, in case you've noticed. But all of these different cities have their beautiful squares with cafes and spots that you can stop at, do some shopping. So the nice thing too, when we're docked, of course, and do our sightseeing, you know, you have lunch on the ship included. But if you'd like to eat at the cafe and do that instead, you can. So you don't have to worry about rushing back. Sometimes people will stick around and maybe they want to just stay in the main area for a little bit longer. You can do that. It's easy to get from the main spots to the port, and we'll walk you through that too. You'll do a nice guided tour of Bratislava. So remember, you'll have that tour manager with you the whole way through. Their national theater that they have here for their concerts also. So the beautiful detail and statues on each of these also. And the nice thing too is that even though we're going to so many different countries and getting to see so many different walks of life, is that, you know, you're still going to be using the euro for the trip. Now your Emerald Active here is if you'd like to hike to this castle. This is something that you could do if you want to stay more active, or you can explore a little bit in town, or, you know, be back at the ship too, whatever you want. But that's included for you if you want to do it. Emerald Plus is a Slovakian entertainment. So this is an additional cost if you would like to go to a traditional Slovakian show and see their dances too in the traditional outfits. So it is a lot of fun to do. And this is something that I have done. So I think you'd really enjoy it. Now we're getting towards the end of our cruise here, and we get to beautiful Budapest. So one of the best cities, I think, in the world. And one of the big reasons people love this trip is that you're ending in Budapest. So of course, there's Buda and there's Pest. So we will go to the Buda Castle so that you can see it. We'll also see the local church here. So this is one of the largest in all of Europe. Parts of it are over 500 years old, and it is massive in size. And you'll notice that detail again on the roof there. So what I love about Budapest too is that you have this church, but it's also close to other things. So it's close to Heroes Square. And then it's also nearby the Fisherman's Bastion. So it's all very easy to get to and to walk around. So you don't have to worry about everything being super spread out, which I really like. Now there's also the Royal Palace, and you'll see the ship right there is where you would be. And the nice thing too is that, you know, you have these gorgeous views as you're just sitting on the sun deck, or maybe, you know, in the balcony area of your room. Now your active opportunity here is if you'd like to hike up to Buddha Hill, you can do that and get a view of the entire area. Your Discover More, if you'd like to do a nice little deep tour into one of the neighborhoods, you can certainly do that. So this one would have an additional cost, but it's nice to be able to kind of dive into some little spots and neighborhoods where people live. And a traditional Hungarian show too. So people love this one. They move so fast with their feet, and just being able to hear the music and watch them go. So it's so nice to see these different folklore shows. And they explain the stories and the different things behind each of them too. But I love looking at their outfits and the detail. Now, there's also the option, if you'd like, to do an evening cruise where you can see the entire city lit up. So this would be on a smaller boat. You'd go from the one that you're staying on and just go onto a smaller one to cruise up and down to see that at night. So this also has a meal included too. And let's see here. If I can get this to play. I do have a video for you. So that way you can kind of see some of these things come to life in the ship a little bit.
Hmm. Oh. Oh.
So hopefully that brought a little bit of it to life for you so you can see. And also just the sights, the beauty of it, the ship. Those are the things that I really wanted to highlight with that. Does anyone have questions on the tour itself before I do some bookend items? Anything in the chat or? No questions so far? I know it's a lot of information. Well, I'll do some bookend things for you too. Let's see here. Now, we also have our travel protection plan. So I know a lot of questions out there about if something happens and you need to cancel. So with our river cruises, it includes medical coverage while on tour, covers lost or stolen baggage, cancel for a covered reason, illness or death, and you can cancel and get your money back minus the cost of the insurance. So keep in mind, if something happens, I know this is a year away, but lots of questions about COVID too. If for some reason this is still going on for next year and we need to cancel the departure, you would get everything back. So we could rebook you, or you could do a cash refund too. We are also going to be changing a little bit on our insurance policy so that if something happens while you're in the destination and you need to quarantine, you would receive a hotel and coverage for that also. So it is very good insurance. You can cancel, for illness, death, sickness, things like that. But it also covers if you have a flight delay and things too. A very good coverage for you. Now, these are the current per person rates. So that way you can take a look. If you are traveling as a single, that's fine. Just let me know. There's an additional cost for that. But we do still have the free airfare offer. So that is extended through the end of November. Now, to sign up on the trip, the deposit is $400 per person. And then you do the travel protection at the same time, which is $450 per person. And depending on which room you're interested in, Tracy does have the ship layout, and she can actually let you pick the exact cabin as long as it's available still. So keep that in mind. Remember when we looked over those rooms, which ones had the actual separate door and separate space? And now whenever you're picking your room. So this is the price for the entire trip, your port fees, your gratuities for the staff, everything. And then also you have that free airfare. So you don't have to worry about paying gratuities once you're on board or worrying about, $500 or something in port charges. We want to price it all together so it's right there in front of you. So you have it all at once. But what questions do you guys have for me? Maybe I can exit out of here, and then that way, if you want to type something in, you can. Any questions at all? This is one of my favorite trips. Oh, everybody's so quiet today.
So, given that we don't have any questions now, I will be available for questions later. I will be emailing everybody who signed up today. I'll send you a recording of this webinar. I'll also be sending you the brochure, and this has all of the information that we went through, the ship grid, the rates, all of those details. I'll send that, the reservation form. I will be in touch if you have any questions Some people like to go in before the tour or stay after. I can discuss that. It's free air offer, but if you do want to look at air upgrades on top of that, I can take care of all of those details. So basically, I'm your connection between Mayflower and your tour. I do want to let you know, this company, I partner with Mayflower because TOURCY partners with very stable, solid companies with great travel products. If you go to my website, TOURCY20.com, I do have some comments in the recommendations in terms of the Emerald product. This ship is phenomenal. The prices are great, all inclusive. It includes their gratuities. This is a fantastic ship. And I will say that for 2021, making sure that the ships and the travel are safe, moving forward. We're very on top of that. And again, just let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. I'll be sending you details. And I want to wish you a happy Halloween. I'm kind of mixing my Halloween with my love of travel. So anything else you'd like to add, Amanda?
We just got a question from Carol.
Okay.
So Carol, your question is, do you offer single accommodations? Yes. The extra pricing, so it depends on which cabin you're interested in. And Tracy can give you a breakdown of that too. So total passengers on this ship, great question. This is why I think river cruises are doing so well for travel in the future. The maximum amount of people you're going to have on this one is going to be around that 140 to 150 range. So the nice thing is that it's a smaller ship. When we do our sightseeing, you're all divided up into smaller groups. So you're not going to be walking through each site, all together like that. It's separated out. So river cruises have been very popular for next year in 22, just because of the fact that, you're not having to be on a motor coach long with people. You're staying on the ship for the majority of the time and not having to move around. So I think it's really helping with people being comfortable, getting out there and having that accommodation. So great question. Any other ones? Okay.
Great.
Well, certainly if you think of anything, let Tracy know. And remember that free airfare offer is about good for another month. Can't believe we're at the end of October already. Definitely reach out to Tracy if you're interested in a specific cabin level, because those are first come, first serve. But it's nice to get to see all of you, talk to you, and get excited for next year. I know we all can't wait to get out and travel again. But certainly, have a great day. And if you need us, just reach out.
I'll be in touch. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Happy